who's watching. The Watchdogs are watching and here with us to talk about how important local elections are Kirk Allen and John Kraft, the Edgar County Watchdogs. They've been at it for a long time. And I saw John for breakfast this morning. I happened to be in Coles County last night giving a speech at their Lincoln Day dinner. Thank you so much for having me at the Republican Lincoln Day dinner there. Appreciated that. And I saw John for breakfast this morning. He handed me their big packet. Well, it's not a big packet. It's just like it's a binder, and it basically goes through every single case that they've been involved in up through 2023. And of course, that doesn't include 2024 and so much more. And I got to say, I'm imagining that there were probably cases in 2024, mainly Tiffany Hennard, that might be some of your top 10 cases, because that's what we're going to talk about with them. It's local election time, guys. So you've been hearing from the Watchdogs now ever since I've been on the radio. So it's, it'll be 2 years in July. We do this segment every single week because it's important to pay attention to what's happening locally. And you have a chance to pay attention and vote correctly this Tuesday at the local elections. So I thought, why not go through the top 10 list that you guys have been dealing with since your time in office. So, John and Kirk, you gave me kind of a list. Who'd like to kind of start with some of their top local problems?
I can start, I guess.
Okay.
Thanks for breakfast, by the way.
Oh, yeah. You're welcome.
You get what you vote for, and if you don't vote, you get what everybody else votes for.
Perfect.
So, if you don't vote, you really shouldn't be complaining, except try to get more people out to vote the next time. So our first one here is Chris Mahatsko, Kendall, Grundy County Regional Office of Education. He routinely gives away $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 in employee bonuses, and it's not written into their employee agreement. They formed a professional development alliance with Will County and placed that all their employees working for Vista Learning, which was a private company, so Vista Learning could sell software all over the country. They essentially were private employees working for Vista Learning, getting paid through a government paycheck so they could, Vista would reimburse them, but that way they could participate in IMRF. The ROE was the independent contractor for the private company, and they even hosted the offshore Majestic Isles Casino email servers.
You cannot make that up.
Which was run on the state of Illinois IT system.
And is there still a pending lawsuit over this? Because this one really bothers me.
No, nothing happened.
Oh, God.
They did shut down the Professional Development Alliance, and Vista Learning went off on their own, but they're still operating. But my belief is all that work that was done by the government employees should belong to the government, not that private company.
Yeah, for sure.
Then there's another one, Hanover Township, paying homeowners using public money that they in the past, and some of it is still going on. Homeowners' real estate taxes, through general and emergency assistance, the car insurance, homeowners association dues. You name it, just tons of money.
That is insane. You said also home association dues, HOA fees. Taxpayers are covering HOA fees. Sell the damn condo. Go rent.
And they have a township emergency services where part of it is going out and patrolling the streets to help the municipal police and the sheriff's department. Well, that's not the job of a township to patrol the streets. And they got drones they set up in the air to help them do that and everything else. That's not a township job.
Oh, gosh.
The next one will be fire protection districts. A Paris fireman pled guilty to stealing gas. He had a private construction company. He would use a fire district credit card for all of his fuel. Oakland fire trustees. There were three trustees, and they were all related to each other. Two of them were charged with theft. One pled guilty, one's still fighting it. I mean, and tens of thousands of dollars from a tiny volunteer fire district.
Oakland is tiny. It's a really tiny town.
I know, and it's no different than. I mean, you talked about Orland Fire District earlier in this session, where they were paying some lady who was sitting in the federal penitentiary. They were paying her for DEI stuff.
This should be a comedy skit.
I know. It should be.
It's a joke. Okay.
And then with the airport authorities, we just went around the state with the airport authorities: Springfield, Bloomington, Normal, Quad Cities, Vermilion, DuPage, Rockford, Coles County, Kewanee, and Kankakee airport authorities. They all had commissioners that law, according to state law, could not sit as a commissioner. You can't have any other government employment or office, period, to sit in those positions. And one of them had a contracting company and he won the bid to put new roofs on the airport authority because the attorney told him it was okay. Well, he resigned, and then when it's time for one of the terms to end, he was reappointed, and that's fine. He was reappointed. He didn't have any contracts after that. But it's still ridiculous that people would actually think that you could do that. And let's see. My final one is, yes, Tiffany Henyard.
I knew she'd be on your list or Kirk's. I knew it.
I mean, my first visit up there.
And wait, she's a double whammy, right? Because Dolton Mayor, which is a local elected position, and Thornton Township, another local elected position, on the ballot, guys. It's on the ballot on Tuesday. Go ahead.
My first visit up there, the trustees complained because she locked them out of Village Hall, and I told them, I said, just have the stinking meeting in the parking lot. So they did, and I was there with my camera and filmed it. They had their meeting in the parking lot, and they had several meetings in the parking lot. Finally, she decided, wasn't going to do no good to lock them out of City Hall. And she locks people out of City Hall all the time. She locks people out of Thornton Township. She spends tens and tens of thousands giving away giant flat screen TVs, stainless steel refrigerators and appliances, washers, dryers, you name it, and big bingo for the township. You can't do that. She bought two, $100,000+ fully equipped, unmarked police Tahoes and put municipal police plates on them for the township. You can't do that. Townships don't have police departments, and she used the road district money to do it with. I mean, Dalton's like $8 million in the hole right now.
Yeah. Piece of work. I mean, you can't make it up. Okay. All right. We're going to take a break, and we'll be back to talk to Kirk Allen about who's on his top list for worst elected officials in the state of Illinois.
You're listening to The Real Story with your host, Jeanne Ives.
Yeah, welcome back. We're having a lot of fun tonight, actually, because we've got the Edgar County Watchdogs. And I mean, you just can't make up the stuff that they're talking about, just the corruption. And here it is. Here's the Edgar County Watchdogs book John gave me. And it's updated through March 15th, 2023. Wow. You guys are 2 years behind now. And this book has all the stuff that they've been doing. All the counties, the townships, they have an index even in there. So you can find out what's going on. It's a great book. I don't know. Can people get this on your website, or do you have it online? Hello?
We've circulated.
Oh, you
have?
Can you hear me? Yeah, I can. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, we've circulated copies, but right now we don't have it available online. It's kind of a more or less a keeping track for ourselves, and we present it to folks when we do our training to show them that they can make a difference, because every article that's in there exposes something local, and it emphasizes how important local elections really are.
Yeah, it's just phenomenal. Counties: Edgar, DuPage, Ford, Hancock, Crawford, Iroquois, LaSalle, Coles, Shelby, Madison, St. Clair. Stark County, you even have county probation officers listed out. You've got municipalities, this is fantastic. So Kirk, your list is a little bit different than John's, but you had picked out some of your top local elected officials that, need some more scrutiny and are really, really good examples for why people need to pay attention and vote correctly.
And I want to emphasize, when we fail to take care of things locally, we shouldn't question what goes on in Washington, because the people locally are the ones that go to Washington, and they take these bad habits with them. And when we let them get away with it here, they get away with it there. And if we can't fix it locally, we're never going to fix it nationally, in my opinion.
That's a really good point.
The top 10 list, we always, people always ask us, what's the top 10? It is next to impossible to identify because everybody's perspective is so different. But the one that just galls me is the Frank Montino case. Frank Montino is our state auditor general, and that man was voted in by the General Assembly.
I was one of 10 votes who voted no. I voted against him. One of 10. Okay. Just wanted to qualify that. Go ahead.
You bet. And that man, the money he spent from his campaign, confirmed through from the Illinois Supreme Court, and there's been zero accountability, never faced charges. I mean, it's shocking, and he is still the Auditor General and still going to be receiving $160,000 or $180,000 a year in retirement when he's done with his term in 2026.
That's right. Starting pension about $158,000 per year starting pension.
Had anybody vetted his D2 filings, his local D2 filings when he was a state rep, they would have never put his name up for Auditor General.
Mm-hmm. That's correct.
It was too little, too late. And vetting is important. The information was out there. It's publicly on the website, on the State Board of Elections, and nobody was looking at it. It's just amazing. So Frank Montino, I think, is one of the top ones. Some of the others that are, localized up north, Bob Bruder with College of DuPage, we all saw the malfeasance that went on there. Mm-hmm. One trustee stood up and fought and reached out to people and was able to literally bring every facet in the political aisles, from the left to the right, all together. And you lived that right there in your district.
Yes, I did.
You saw what happened with COD.
I actually authored and got passed 4 reform bills based off of what happened at COD.
That's right. There was some great legislation that came out of that to fix a lot of that garbage. Lawrence Wiley, District 210.
This one bugs the hell out of me.
I mean, 6 felony charges, by the feds, and we're waiting and waiting and waiting, and they kept postponing the trial, and they finally dropped the charges because of a medical condition, his inability to assist in his own defense. So basically, he got away with it, and that guy's making $350,000+ a year in retirement now.
Scumbag superintendent, and the school board. The school board's at fault, though. Okay, so he did all this. I get it, and the feds I have a problem with the feds dropping this case. I have a problem with everything about it. But the school board, your own elected school board there in Lincoln Way School Board, they are the ones who are at fault here, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And we've got to get school boards elected that understand they're in charge. The superintendents are not.
Yeah, absolutely.
I can't tell you how many school board meetings we go to, and the superintendents run the meeting. And we love it when it happens because we interject and say, well, excuse me, if he can talk, we can talk, because he's not the board chairman. He's not on the board. He doesn't run the meeting. And literally force the school board to run their own meetings. But it happens all across the state. Superintendents are out of control, and it's because we've allowed school board members to do it. They just sit back and take whatever the superintendent says.
Well, it's the education industrial complex when it comes to school boards. You've got your Illinois Association of School Boards. You've got your principals association. You've got your teachers associations. You've got you name it, and and the school board, very, very rarely does the school board actually run the schools. They get co-opted by the administration and all these experts that are just not experts, honestly. They're just making money off of the whole system. It's sick. It's sick. We need really, really good school board members.
You mentioned Coles County. You were just down here.
Yes, I was.
We haven't written about this. This just happened here in the last month. We've uncovered, or information was sent to us that was uncovered. The Mattoon School District has been paying property tax on a building that they own and operate for school purposes to the tune of $300,000.
Why?
Well, it's supposed to be tax exempt. Oh, because nobody filed the proper paperwork to make it tax exempt when the school took over the building.
What
so
the
for
hell?
3 years, guess who's on that? Guess who the school board chairman is on that Mattoon School District?
I know. He was also one of the traitorous Republicans who voted for the 32% tax increase in 2017.
Former Senator Dale Ryder.
Yep. Former Senator Dale Ryder's in charge, and he can't even figure that out in the budget that they shouldn't be paying those $3 million in property taxes.
$300,000. Yep.
Mm-hmm. That's a lot. That's a lot to a small school district down there.
Absolutely. Oh, it's huge.
And I did meet at the Coles County dinner last night. I did meet 3 school board people running for school board, and I think and for that particular district. Mattoon, and they seem really sharp. They seem top notch. So you've got options there.
Heidi Larson is a great gal over there that's just absolutely demanding accountability, and she's an asset to that community.
And then there were 2 other gentlemen, and I don't remember the names. I'm bad with names. So, okay, that's a good one. Yep.
On to a more amazing one, and why we can't get state's attorneys to do their job is beyond me. But imagine being arrested for having a gun with a filed-off serial number. You go to jail, but the sheriff turns around and sells that very gun and documents that it is sold to a deputy, and it's documented that it has a filed-off serial number. Now, not only can deputies not participate in sheriff sales, sheriffs aren't allowed to sell seized weapons, and I think most everybody knows when the serial number's filed off, it's a federal crime. Possession of one is a federal crime. Yet we have our former Edgar County sheriff did that, and 0 accountability from anybody. The state, the feds, the ATF, nobody touched it. Now, how is that possible?
So the Edgar County sheriff did it? He wasn't the only one, though, right?
Oh, he was the one that sold one with the filed-off serial number. We have about 6 other sheriffs in the state that were selling seized weapons. So for the former Coles County Sheriff Darrell Cox, who happens to be the Coles County Board Chairman, he was selling seized weapons in direct violation of court orders that ordered those guns to be destroyed. He didn't destroy them. He sold them. Not one accountability to that man, and he is now a sitting county chairman in Coles County.
Yeah, and he was there last night, too, at the very dinner that I spoke at. I did not introduce myself. You warned me about him.
I mean, when you tell people you've got to get involved and you have to step up and start throwing these people out, it's amazing the stuff that we elected anymore. I mean, it's just shocking. And you tell people this, it can't be true. There's no way. You're making that up. And all of this is true. We can't keep up with the stories. We tell some of these things in a training session, and there'll be 20 people in the training session that tell us their own local stories that are just as shocking.
Yeah.
It's happening everywhere.
Well, you had one more, but we only have 30 seconds left, so I'm just going to leave it there. But I want to thank you so much. Do we only have 30 seconds left? Yep, we do. Okay. So I want to thank you so much for digging into the local stuff. It's really important. And voters, though, it's up to you to vote for the right people. We're signing off for the night. Thanks a lot, John and Kirk. This is The Real Story with Jeanne Ives, and we'll be here next week. Pedro,